When it comes to the NBA, there are so many different variables and options to bet on. You can look at assists, field goals made, free throws, points, PRA, and so on and so forth. But what I have been doing is pouring my data research, my efforts, my time into rebounds. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on primarily for the rest of the season, is to become an expert in one niche, and it is going to be rebounds. And what I'm going to be doing is finding the games with the largest rebounding disparities for Thursday, and I have found 4. And it's going to start with the Grizzlies and the Pacers. And when it comes to rebound rates, this is TeamRankings.com. If we look at all the data right here, Houston, they're number 1. So a team that is going to be high on the list here is going to be a team that dominates the glass. And so their top rebounders like Sengun, for example, they're going to have strong numbers. And then teams all the way towards the bottom, like Philadelphia, New Orleans, Indiana, the lower the rebound rate, they're going to struggle on the boards, meaning opponents are going to grab more rebounds. So, for example, in my first play, I like the Grizzlies and Pacers matchup because there's a really big disparity here. Memphis is on the road taking on Indiana. This is a number 2 versus a number 8. Indiana's one of the worst rebounding teams. So I was torn between, if we go to the best rebounders for Memphis, we have Zach Edey and Aldama, the power forward, but I like Zach Edey, so we're gonna go more here. Edey, if we go to the NBA.com and we look at the rebounding leaders, so this is going to be a page that's going to show you the top 50 rebounders currently right now in the NBA. We look at Edey, and he is number 31 out of 50. And he has a usage rate of 17%. And why this is important is, if you don't know what usage rate is, it basically measures how much a player is involved in the team's offense when they're on the court. It calculates things like field goal attempts, free throws, turnovers, that sort of thing. But if you have a low usage rate, something below 20, and you still get a decent amount of minutes, you're going to not take as many shots, and you're going to have more energy and positioning to grab rebounds. For example, Rudy Gobert, his usage rate is 12.5%. So, and if we look at rebounds, attempts per game, so if we go to the Indiana Pacers, they're giving up 13 rebounds per game to the center position. That is one of the highest, if not the highest, that I have seen in my research so far this season. So Zach Edey, I'm really liking the over on his rebounds. His last 5, if we look at it, he's averaging 4. One of them was during All-Star weekend. But in the month of February, he's had double digits multiple times. So I really like this player, Zach Edey, fresh off the All-Star break, to get over 7.5 rebounds. So we have 1 play down. I'm going to give you 3 more. The next play that we're going to be looking at is the Celtics and the 76ers. And if we go to, once again, the rebounding rate, so teams that rebound really well, and if we look at the 13th position in the top half of the league, we can see Boston are sitting right here at about 50% in 2024. And if we look at the 76ers, dead last. I know Joel Embiid's back, and this number is skewed a little bit because he was injured for the majority of the season, but there's still a big discrepancy, and I think there's a lot of value here, and that's where I'm going to be leaning for. And why I see the value is, if we look at NBA.com again, look at the top rebounding leaders, Jason Tatum, 20. You love to see that. He's averaging almost double-digit rebounds a game. Right now, I think he's averaging around 8 this season. And this is going to be featured in prime time too. So if we go to Jason Tatum, let's go take a look at his numbers. Look at Jason Tatum. We look at the rebounds. It's sitting at 8. And we look at the last 5 games, 6.8. Don't let this fool you. There's a lot of data here that I'm going to show you that's going to show you why you want to be going over with this number. This game's going to be featured on prime time, which he always tends to show out. And the last time Jason Tatum was on prime time, look at what he did versus Wembanyama, 14 rebounds. Kristaps, you're thinking, hey, maybe he'll have a lot of rebounds. He only had 6. Al Horford had 10. Put up a good amount of minutes for an old guy. But 14 rebounds, that's exactly what you want to see. And when you go over to StatMuse.com, Jason Tatum versus the Sixers, he averages over 8, and that's what you like to see. This season, he's already had 11 versus them once. And then if we keep going down, 7, 8, 15, 6, 13, 8. But then look at this, a stretch a couple years ago with double digits, 16 one time over in 2021. This is what I really like to see here, he's going to be fresh coming off the All-Star break. Jason Tatum, give me more than 8 rebounds. 2 picks down, 2 more to go. We're going to be going over to team rankings again, looking at the rebound rate. The Bulls and Knicks are playing in New York. The Bulls are all the way here at 23, all the way towards the bottom, and then you go all the way up towards the top, and you see the Knicks in number 6. This big of a discrepancy, we're going to find the value. So let's do a little bit more digging. If you look at the NBA team leaders on NBA.com for rebounding, Karl Anthony Towns, number 2. That's pretty good. But he's not the only rebounder on the top 50 list. What if I told you Josh Hart is sitting over here at 17? And let me tell you why I like Josh Hart better than I like Karl Anthony Towns. I think his rebounding is at 10. It's pretty high. And you're wondering why it's so high. It's for a lot of reasons. If we go over to his usage rate, it is under 20. So he's not predominantly scoring, he's predominantly rebounding. Remember, I said if anything below 20 and he gets a high amount of minutes, that's going to lead to a lot of rebounding opportunities, and it shows in his statistics. And being number 17 out of 50 for a guard, that's pretty good. And if we look at his last games versus the Bulls here, Josh Hart, he averages 6.7, but look at what he's done so far in 2025 and earlier this season. 16, 8, 10, 13. And then look at what he's played the Bulls a lot recently, especially in that towards the playoffs last year. He's had double digits multiple times against them. And I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to be scoring a lot. His usage rate is really high. It's 27, if you're curious, and Josh Hart's is 15. So I think more of the rebounding opportunities is going to be here for Josh Hart. And if you're second guessing me, Towns, his rebounding right now is at 13. That's kind of high for me. I know he can do it. He's the second best rebounder in all the NBA, but I like Josh Hart. And especially if we look at rebounds per game that the Bulls are giving up, they're giving up almost 10 rebounds per game to the number 2 position. So Josh Hart, 10. If you want to buy it down to 9.5, you can do that too. But I really like Josh Hart at 10 rebounds. 3 picks down, 1 more to go. We're going to go back over to team rankings. We're going to find one more discrepancy, and I saw it in the Charlotte Hornets and the Nuggets. Nuggets sit up here at number 3, and all the way down here at number 12, we see Charlotte. That's not super big of a discrepancy, but one thing that I really wanted to pay attention to is Charlotte's going to be coming off of a back-to-back. They're going to be playing the Lakers on Wednesday and then have to go all the way to Denver. People are going to be tired. It's just human nature. And if we go to statleaders.com, or if we go to stat leaders over here on NBA.com, we can see that Jokic is number 4 in rebounding in all the NBA. This guy almost averages a triple-double. The former MVP does a great job still producing. So Jokic, if we go look at his rebounds, it went up. It was 12 when I made my bet. It's 12.5 right now. I put in this parlay yesterday. Everything maintained the same except Jokic. It went up a little bit. If we look at his last 5, he's averaging under 10, but I think that's really going to change. If we go over to StatMuse and we look at Jokic versus the Hornets in his career, he's already played them once this year, dropped 13 rebounds, which is really encouraging. And he's actually had double-digit rebounds in almost every single game that he's played since, what is this? I don't know. He's been in the league for a really long time. He averages 13.5 rebounds against the team. Let's just leave it at that. That speaks words. So 12.5, I can see why they pushed it to 13. And if we're looking for any other rebounders on the team, Michael Porter, I don't know if his prop is up here. It wasn't yesterday, no. He's at number 46 in the top 50. So if you wanted to do something like that, Michael Porter Jr., it's actually pretty impressive. He's made it up there, but I'm not really impressed by Bridges or Diabate or anybody on Charlotte because I don't think they're going to be doing much. I think it's going to be a blowout, and I think Jokic gets a triple-double. And those are my picks, everybody. Zach Edey, Jason Tatum, Josh Hart, and Nikola Jokic. I want to say thanks for watching my video. I really do appreciate it, and good luck, everyone.